Hi everyone. I welcome you all on my this YouTube channel. In this channel, the basic concept that I use to share it's related to the environmental science. And today, because of this pandemic situation of COVID-19, we are starting the online lectures for our students. So my subject is environmental studies, and this lecture I am giving for the students of FYBCOM for the semester 2, and for today's session I selected the module 1, that is the solid waste management for the sustainable society. So without wasting time, I'm just going to start this topic. Before starting this topic, we have to understand the word sustainable. To sustainable development, that is the word, that concept was described by 1987 Brundtland Commission report, and in that report is clearly mentioned the development that meets the need of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. That means there is no harm in developing ourselves, but at the same time we have to understand that we should not create a situation where future generations they have to tackle with the problem. So I'm again repeating the basic definition, that is the development that meets the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So in semester 2 FYBCOM, we have the topic that sustainable society, solid waste management, how we can achieve that. So the first question that I have made, that's define the term solid waste and explain the classification of it. Or it can be asked in the university like explain the various types of solid waste. In general way, the solid waste means what? Suppose you took a chalk. We cannot call it as a solid waste because it finds its way into the water. So in general terms, the solid is not that useful. When we go for their disposal way, that time if suppose it remains as a solid, that can be defined as a solid waste. So taking by a generalized definition, that any substance, whether it's from the solid, liquid or gaseous, for which no use can be found, possibly there is no use for the organism or the system, then we can say that this can be coming under the waste term. And that waste, if it is a solid, that's a solid waste. And that waste, if it is a liquid waste, we can come with that. So we are targeting now with the solid waste. The further that classification is there. For classification, we have many ways. So we are starting with the first one. If we consider the moisture content, depending on the moisture, because in every waste there will be the moisture. So suppose the moisture content is more, then we define that term as a wet waste. And suppose if that is less, there will be a dry waste. The one main problem that we face generally in the classification, we may find different overlappings. We may find some waste and coming under this category. We can see that same into the different category as well. So overlapping can be there. Further, if we want to classify it based on the nature, that harmful nature, we can have the hazardous waste and the non-hazardous. Now, I have to explain there that suppose this can, that bottle, that eggshells, these are the waste, that is wet waste. And that wet waste is not hazardous. So this time it can come as the non-hazardous waste. But the industrial chemicals, that corrosive chemicals are there, that can be comes under the hazardous waste. So if we move to the further one, the based on the reuse, means whether we can reuse it or not. It can be the recyclable and the non-recyclable. Okay, non-recyclable, we cannot recycle it. These waste we cannot recycle. Based on degradability, whether we can degrade them or not. So suppose if we add the bio, that bio means the living means the microorganism. So if there are microorganisms that can degrade it, it can be a biodegradable. Now see, this plastic, I am writing that as a non-recyclable. But though at some forms, with some precaution, we can recycle the plastic. But still, in some form, we cannot recycle. And plastic, why it causing main problem to the environment? Because the management is not there properly. We cannot manage it. You may have find the plastic, if we melt, we can convert one plastic to another plastic. That's good. It can be recycled. But because of poor management, the thin plastic that get carried away by the wind or air, we cannot track it, and that is the main issue. Now, biodegradable. Now, in that case, the plastic is not biodegradable. So, plastic can be come under the non-biodegradable. And biodegradable, we can have the wet waste that can be degradable. So, we can write this classification as this. And you can classify them as solid, liquid, gaseous. So, there are many ways to classify the waste. But basically, what we are finding it like depending on their source, depending on their reuse ability, depending on their harmful nature, etc. Moving to the types, what types of waste we are finding. So basically, in this point, what we can write the different sources. Now, example, we have given this here municipal waste. So municipal waste means the waste that come under the municipality system. It can be the municipal waste. That is the work of the municipality. Domestic or residential. Again, I am putting more pressure on the fact that we can find the overlapping. Now, residential waste, normal societies that we find the waste, that is a residential waste. But ultimately, the residential waste is going to managed by the municipality only, so that can come under the municipality also. So, street waste, dead animals, market waste under the municipality waste. Domestic residential waste, what we comes from the societies and all. Then we have the commercial waste, again the simple one, the commercial hotels, restaurants. But why we have different types? Is there any difference in that? Yes, obviously. See, in restaurant, the hotels, there will be a different kinds of waste. The hotels and the restaurant are not going to produce the hazardous waste. That can be either wet or the dry waste. So it can come. Now, garbage and the rubbish. Rubbish is a general term given to the household commercial. And the garbage is like animal waste, vegetable waste. Institution, depending on the institution, like university, schools. Now, school and university is not going to produce the harmful chemicals. But hospital, we can find the different chemicals that comes as a liquid waste, and the research institution. Then, after some methods, that suppose we use the burning method, then we can find the burnt out remain part, that's ash we get, with the residue from the burning of wood, coal and all. So we can get that as. Then bulky waste, depending on its quantity, their size, and the street sweeping, the general way. Again, I am repeating the street sweeping, which was considered in the municipality waste. Then we have the dead animals, again municipality under. Construction demolition work, because in developing country that construction, refurbishment, repair, demolition, it can create the waste of it. Then industrial waste. So depending on their industrial processes, we can find the different industrial waste. Like some way we can find the melting slag, non-ferrous industries like aluminum, zinc, they can produce that. Hazardous waste, the chemical, biological or physical. Because of their property, they can affect the system or the environment. So, we have further sewage waste. Sewage is basically the liquid waste that is generated by the residential activity that can, or industrial. It can produce the sewage. Biomedical, again the hospital waste, and the last one, the plastic and the e-waste. Now, e-waste, generally the electronic. It can comes under the computer hardware, TV sets and all. Plastic is a general day-to-day life. So, in this first lecture, I have covered basically three things in one question. The definition of the waste, and their classification and the types of the waste. I hope there won't be any issue with this module. So if you have any doubts, please comment in this video, and soon we will continue with the next topic from the module 1 only. Take care, stay home, be safe. Thank you. Okay, bye.